Hey everyone, Joe Bianchino here alongside A.Dubs, Andrew Williams, back with another NFL season preview. We did the AFC yesterday, tackling the NFC today.
Started off.
Simply put, AFC East, not the best division in football, but certainly one of the most intriguing divisions in football. I love this division. Eagles, Skins, Giants, Cowboys, just interest aplenty. I think it's the Eagles, though, who come away best, but I'm not confident in it.
I'm very confident in that, actually. Just other than if the Redskins RG3 can be RG3 of rookie season, we have a new division out.
Right, and that's why I'm not sure. Look, the Eagles, Chip Kelly, that fast offense, LaShawn McCoy, they add Darren Sproles underneath them. Jeremy Maclin coming back healthy. Riley Cooper put up insane numbers last year. That's a great offense. Their defense isn't going to have to do much. I think they're going to be fine, and I like them a lot. But RG3 and the Redskins improved a little bit defensively, but adding Deshaun Jackson alongside Pierre Garçon, Alfred Morris, and getting RG3's legs back if you can, that's an outrageously good offense.
It is. And under new coach Jay Gruden.
Yep.
So my biggest thing, though, is this. They will be a threat if RG3, like I said, is rookie year RG3. They are a huge threat.
Right.
But Chip Kelly, year 2, offense under his belt. Like you said, adding Darren Sproles, which is a very underrated grab right there.
Yep.
Especially running that offense. And Zach Ertz also at their tight end position. They have weapons in every single offensive position, and more than one.
Yeah, and that's why I take them. And I also take them because I don't trust RG3. I mean, I love... He has to use his legs to be effective. The problem is...
He can't slide.
He can't slide. He doesn't seem to want to get out of bounds. He's going to get hurt. So we could see a situation where both of these teams are neck and neck through the first 9 games. RG3 gets hurt. Kirk Cousins comes in, and suddenly it's the Eagles' division.
Do you have faith in Kirk Cousins if he comes in?
I think they could be a very good offense even with Kirk Cousins because they have Deshaun Jackson, speed, over-the-top guy. They have Pierre Garçon, possession receiver, and they have a bruising running game in Alfred Morris. So I could actually see Kirk Cousins working, but I don't see Kirk Cousins winning that division. I see Chip Kelly and the Eagles winning that division. The Giants are interesting just because of their defense, but their offense with Eli Manning right now in the preseason sacked every game and completing about 50% of his passes. Odell Beckham Jr. is yet to see
a full practice.
Yeah,
he hasn't
practiced yet, so I can't buy into them until that offense shows me something. I like the running game, I like the defense, but you got to show me something overall, especially in the passing game of a West Coast offense before I can believe in you. And the Dallas Cowboys, 26th in points per game last year defensively. Just brutal offense. And now they've lost Sean Lee.
DeMarcus Ware
is gone. It's just... It's going to be bad.
It's going to be. And once again, it comes out, they always have a great offense. You have DeMarco Murray. You have Des Bryant.
Right.
You are ready to go. You still have Jason Witten, the all-star player he is. But their defense is so bad that I can't see them out. They're going to have to outscore opponents 42 to 30-something.
They're going to have to score 40 points a game if they want to win. And I don't think you're going to do that in the NFC East. I just don't think so. The NFC North, another very interesting division, but with teams that have less question marks, especially at the top. The Chicago Bears, for me, take the top. I love what they have weapon-wise. Matt Forte, Alshon Jeffrey, Martellus Bennett. I didn't even mention Brandon Marshall yet. I probably should have led with him. Brandon Marshall, a little bit of a rebuilt offensive line. Mark Trestman proved he can coach some offense in this league. That's going to be a really good team.
And that's another guy. It's another team that's coming into year 2 under a new coach. Now everybody's adjusted to it. If Matt Forte is healthy the whole time, Alshon Jeffrey, Martellus Bennett, Brandon Marshall.
Yeah.
Another team, but also working on their defense, rebuilding their defense a little bit. Lost Julius Peppers, was on his downside, but still a great player.
Yeah, and they're going to need to see that defense step up, especially when they play, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford in their own division. And we'll get to the Packers right now. Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, some
Eddie Lacy.
Yeah, some unknown wide receivers, but very, very productive. I mean, you know him if you play fantasy. And then Eddie Lacy, like you said, finally, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have the run game he always should have been complemented with in Lacy. If that defense steps up at all, they could easily win this division. Easily.
They can. But in the team, though, I think we're not talking about enough, which never gets, well, they get credit, and then Matthew Stafford goes out and throws late interceptions.
Yeah.
Dominican Sue is kicking people. Nick Fairley's 15 pounds overweight. But the Detroit Lions have maybe the most weapons out of almost anybody in this division that we're not looking at.
Dynamic.
Yeah, very
Calvin
dynamic.
Johnson, they got Golden Tate, which is another, I think, underrated signing in Golden Tate.
Yeah.
I mean, he catches balls from Russell Wilson in Seattle. Nobody else really around him at the wide receiver position. When you put Calvin Johnson across from him and give you Matthew Stafford throwing him the ball, he's going to have a productive year. Reggie Bush, Joique Bell in the backfield. The thing is, you mentioned it. Ndamukong Suh's kicking people. Matthew Stafford's throwing late interceptions.
Yeah.
Nick Fairley, his problems. Detroit's got to show me. They have to show me before I can buy in, because they've had this type of talent for years now, and they haven't done anything with it, largely because they've been head cases.
They have been head cases. Now Jim Caldwell's there, who does not play, who doesn't play that game.
That's
He
true.
doesn't at all. He's a better coach. Eric Ebron in the draft, also with Pettigrew there. They improved that. They somehow improved the offense.
Yes.
Their best thing they had, they improved that. Their defense, last year was a bounce back year. 2 years ago, they made the playoffs. They played bad last year. Jim Schwartz can't control that locker room. He never was able to. He was a hot-headed coach himself. I think they bounce back this year, and I have them coming in number 2. I just did this too. I had Green Bay originally.
Yeah.
Then as we were talking, I went into Detroit.
You convinced yourself.
I put Detroit as number 2.
You convinced yourself to take the Lions, and look, that takes some stones, because they got to prove it to me before I can buy in. Also, to just round out the NFC North, Adrian Peterson's also in this division. And moving on, because there's not a lot else to talk about in Minnesota.
Not at all.
The NFC South, sneaky, maybe the best division in football.
It's very scary.
Except for the division we're about to talk to, but let's just focus on the South right here. Saints, Falcons, Bucks, Panthers. I love the Saints. This defense was tremendous last year. Let me see here. 4th in points per game. The Saints defense was 4th in points per game last year. They add Jarius Byrd. They got guys coming back healthy. They add Brandon Cooks at the wide receiver position for Drew Brees. I really like the New Orleans Saints at the top of this division.
This is one I'm still stuck at right now. Like, right now I have Saints 1. I have my Carolina Panthers at 1A. And I know what you're thinking. They lose a lot. They lost a lot of players.
Yeah.
They did this all season. A lot of wide receivers. I know they're...
That's it.
But you have a 23-year-old Luke Kuechly, who might be the best defensive player in the league. Up there. The lead your defense that was number 2 last year.
Right.
Number 2 defense.
I know.
And still Cam Newton.
I agree. I love Luke Kuechly. I love that defense. I like Cam Newton, but who's he throwing the ball to? He lost Steve Smith, who was like his only wide receiver. He's gone. He's out the door. He's in Baltimore right now. Who's he throwing the ball to? And D'Angelo Williams, that's your running back you're relying on?
Jonathan Stewart. They've always had the threesome. They've never been one primary back, and we know that.
Yeah.
That's why no fantasy player ever likes Williams, Jonathan Stewart, or Tolbert. But you think about it. You got Kelvin Benjamin in the draft. We don't know how good he is, but he has potential to be a huge wide receiver.
I'm not banking on that
No
potential
pun
in this division, because I have the Panthers 4th here, because I think the Falcons have been outrageously overlooked. I mean, yeah, the Falcons had a bad year last year, finished at the bottom of the league, but they lost Julio Jones early in the season for the year, and then they lost Roddy White for much of the season. He was a shell of himself.
Yeah, he was coming back from injuries, playing back to health.
He played, but he had ankle and foot injuries all season and just never contributed the way you expected Roddy White to until late. You give Matt Ryan those guys back, add Steven Jackson at running back.
If he can be healthy, that's the thing. He's not healthy anymore. He has so much toll on that body from St. Louis. But so then you have Jaquiz Rodgers in his backup. Then there's one other player. I can't think of the name right now. He's a big fantasy player.
Yeah.
Whatever. But their defense, I mean, who's their star of their defense right now?
Look, their defense is a problem, but I could ask the same about other teams that who's the star of the Bears defense? Who's the star of the Packers defense? Clay Matthews.
It is still.
But that defense as a whole has questions.
DJ Rod,
The Falcons, the Panthers have a good defense. Who's the star of their offense? It's Cam Newton. He's a quarterback. They throw the ball. Who's he throwing the ball to? You and me, essentially. So I have questions there. And the Bucks, the last team in that division that we haven't talked about, I have 3rd here. I think they're going to... Doug Martin coming back off his ACL injury. I've always been in love with Vincent Jackson, his size at the receiver position. They add Josh McCown. Josh McCown, Mike Glennon, either one.
And Mike Evans now.
I like they get Mike Evans out of A&M. I think they're going to be a very good team. Underrated.
We don't know much about them right now. Lovie Smith just got there. Their defense, Lovie Smith's defense, we know that's his biggest thing. They're always good.
Yeah.
So it's about if McCown can do the same as he did last year, or just be on that level, or maybe a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I don't see them being a big threat in the division. Not year one under Lovie
No,
Smith.
I don't see big threat to win the division. I just think a team to watch because they're going to improve.
They can ruin somebody's year.
They could absolutely probably going to ruin the Panthers' year because
Cam
Newton doesn't have anyone to throw the ball to. In the NFC West, Seahawks, 49ers, Cards, Rams. This might be the best division in football if they're healthy. They're not, though. The Cardinals lost Darnell Dockett on that great defense. It's still going to be a great defense with Tyrann Mathieu and the other pieces they have at cornerback, the other guys whose names are eluding me right now.
Yeah.
Patterson, yes, thank you. The Rams losing Sam Bradford for the year, their quarterback position. Again, they're going to be a great defense. I don't know if they're going to score points. And so it comes down to the Seahawks and the 49ers, as you would expect it to. Last week, A.Dubs, I was taking the 49ers. I love the 49ers in this division. I think they are the most balanced team in the NFL. They can run the ball with Frank Gore and now Carlos Hyde. They can throw the ball with Kaepernick to now Michael Crabtree back healthy, Bolden, Vernon Davis, Stevie Johnson. Yeah, I love that. They also play great defense. Problem is, two big pieces on that defense are either suspended or about to be. Aldon Smith going for the first 9 games. And McDonald, thank you.
We don't know about yet. He said the truth will come out. They all say that. Domestic violence. And right after.
Yeah.
Could be gone 6 games.
Yeah, did not take long for the domestic violence policy to be tested.
Shock.
He was arrested over the weekend. The weekend before the NFL season starts, he gets arrested for domestic violence. We'll see. All indications the NFL is going to take its time to make sure, to let the police do its work. Then they'll step in. But they got a lot of questions over McDonald's head right now. You got a lot of questions over the 49er defense head. So I think you have to like the Seahawks on top of this division.
I think so. I think what this division always comes down to is which team's going to be first and who's going to be in the wild card.
Yes.
So it's going to be Seattle. I have Seattle right now first and San Francisco in the wild card. Same thing as last year. I can see the records being around the same. 13-3 for Seattle, 12-4 San Francisco. Maybe split one. But Arizona is a tough team.
Arizona's very tough.
Absolutely a tough team.
Andre Ellington at running back. You got Larry Fitzgerald there, and Floyd at wide receiver. I have my doubts about their quarterback position with Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, this really, when healthy, I think is the most talented division in football. I think the Seahawks and the 49ers are just a little step above everybody else.
They are there. They're a team that Arizona was very good last year at 10-6, just missed out on the playoffs. I see them maybe losing a game here and there, maybe like 8-8, 9-7 around that area.
I think they'll be about there, 8 to 10 wins.
Yeah, in St. Louis, they maybe with Bradford, they would steal a game here or there, but I don't think they do it this year. I know with Sean Hill, who last time people saw them was Thanksgiving 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
So I definitely Seattle, San Francisco, Arizona, St. Louis in that division.
In that division, overall, I like the Saints to get the number 1 seed. I like that offense with that improved defense. I think they will roll a bit. Obviously, as they tend to do in the Superdome.
Yes.
I think they get the 1 seed. The Seahawks there with the 2. I think the Bears win the NFC North and get that third seed. The Eagles the 4 seed, just because I don't know about their defense. They're going to have some troubles. The NFC East is always just a cluster bomb.
They are.
It's whoever drags themselves out of there. I think the Eagles will do it, but they will be the 4th seed. And then the 49ers get the 5, and the Packers rock in at the 6th seed with the last wild card.
Division leaders, pretty close to the same way with you. I have Seattle as the 1 seed, though. And shockingly, I have Philly as my 2 seed.
Okay.
The reason behind that is I think the NFC East is just so depleted that they're just going to run away with it.
Yeah, if RG3 gets hurt and the Giants never figure out that offense, you could easily see the Eagles be the only. I mean, you could see the Eagles be the only team with a winning record in that division if the Giants don't figure it out and RG3 gets hurt.
Absolutely. 3 seed, I go down to New Orleans. Same thing. I think they're going to run away with this division. I think they tighten, beat beat out Carolina. Bears as my 4th seed. In my wild cards, San Francisco the 5, and I have Detroit as my 6th.
You have Detroit over.
Because I feel like we pick all these, say, like, quote-unquote, like 1 seeds. There's always something in NFL.
There's always something that happens. Just something crazy that happens, and maybe it's the Lions. That is the NFC prediction. We're back tomorrow with AFC NFC Championship game and Super Bowl predictions. Tune in.